Hello, everyone. We are here on Monday night, and you know what that means. That means it is time for the Sunday Night League. And as you can see, we are here at Trial Mountain for the first round of Season 12 of Formula X. And what a season we have in store for you. As I've just finished getting everything set up next to me. Let's see if I can get the stream up properly for myself, though. There we go. And audio looks good. So, as I say, we are here for the first round of Formula X of SNL, or SNL's Formula X Championship. We are here for Season 12, and we are here for a fantastic season. We are here for Round 1, Trial Mountain. It's a fictional circuit set in America. I'm trying to remember where on the map, more or less, it's set. I feel like it's eastern side of United States, but I'm not sure. I frankly don't remember exactly. Point is, though, what you really need to know is that this is not a real circuit. It is fictional, but it is a fantastic circuit. And it is a lot of fun. We are racing it in the regular direction. You can, of course, race it in the regular or reverse direction. We're racing it in the regular direction. In my opinion, the better direction, but both directions are genuinely very good. And, of course, I have just realized I do need to pull up the teams and drivers so I can tell you them, and as well as, with the return of Formula X, we're actually picking our tires going into the races. It's not like it was in GTE or Endurance, where it was, just use one set of softs, one set of hards, one set of mediums, and whatever the hell you want for the rest of the race. This is different. We have a very unique rule set for Formula X, in which drivers select 3 sets of tires that they will bring to every weekend, plus a set of qualifying tires. They have to qualify on that set of qualifying tires. Before the season, you have 4 softs, 3 mediums, and 1 hard. That's what you bring for qualifying. And you'll pick what round, before each round, you'll pick what qualifying tire you want to bring and qualify on. Now, I can tell you, for this round, everybody bar 4 drivers is on softs, and we'll get to who those 4 drivers who are not on softs are, but they're all on hards. Outside of that, we also have race tires. So we have 8 rounds this season, 3 sets of tires per round. That should add up to 24? So going into it, you have 12 sets of softs, 7 sets of mediums, and 5 sets of hards, 3 of which you can bring to each round. There are a minimum of 2 pit stops in each race. Should it rain, you aren't required to use all 3 sets of dry tires that you brought, but you are still required to make 2 tire changing pit stops. So you could get away with, starting on softs and then switching to intermediates and then switching back to softs. That kind of thing could work if it rains. However, you are also limited to only those 3 sets of tires you bring for dry tires. If you run out, you're going to be stuck on intermediates or wets or whatever. You have to use only those 3 sets of tires that you bring, no more, no less. And of course, there are tire penalties if you finish on the podium that will affect what tires you then have for the remainder of the season. First place loses a set of their softest qualifying tires to a set of hards, and 2 sets of their softest race tires to a set of mediums and a set of hards. Second place will lose one of their softest qualifying tires to a medium, and their softest race tire to a hard. And third place will lose one of their softest race tires to a medium. So, all in all, that is the penalties for the remainder of the season should you finish first, second, or third. Now, we have a changed rule this season for what teams can be used. So previously, for the past few seasons in Formula X, since I believe Season 6, we've had the top 10 most successful F1 teams of all time were your options. And then recently we also introduced that 2 other teams who had won races could also be used. That's how we got teams like Toro Rosso last season, or Jordan for a couple of seasons. But we've changed that. Now it is any team that has scored a point in Formula One's history or is on the current grid. The other single largest rule change that we've brought for this season is that we have refueling back. It is now no longer just switching tires throughout the race. You're also going to have to refuel. So we have proper fuel usage now. So that will change a lot when it comes to strategy. Hello to Rob in the chat. Good to see you, Rob. Now, after all of that long bit of talking, I think it's about time we got going with the grid. Nobody wants to sit around and wait for 10 minutes while I talk about our rules. You're here to see racing. Let's give you some racing. So, first off, the first pole position of the season goes to Gasman in McLaren. Gasman qualified on a set of the soft compound tires, number 89 there. A previous champion of Formula X will go from pole for round 1. Next up, we have an Audi driver. It is Tamo, who is going to be going all out for this race. He's qualified on softs. He is new to Formula X, but we saw him in GTE last season, already a proven race winner. Going from second, he'll be looking to repeat the feat. In third on the grid, number 1, our reigning champion, it is Bunnies. Bunnies is going from third. He qualified on softs in the Williams. That is his new team for the season, leaving Ferrari, going to Williams. And on the other hand, his brother, Ajax, goes from Williams to Ferrari. Ajax, number 12, driving the Ferrari from 2004. He will be going from 4th on the grid. 5th is an all-new driver. Just like all 4 drivers ahead of him, he qualified on soft compound tires. It is Super Toxic. Super Toxic is new to the league. Number 66 here, previously raced by Jim, I believe, all those seasons ago. As Pat giving us some information in the chat, I think Trial Mountain is fictionally in California between Sierra Nevada and Coastal Mountains. Looks like it is east of San Francisco. Okay, so I said east side of the USA, and that is wildly incorrect if what Pat has said is true, and that's a lot of information from Pat, so I'm gonna guess that is true from Pat. Sup says Aloe, good to see you in the chat too. All 3 people now in the chat, Rob, Pat, and Aloe. So, as I was saying though, Super Toxic in Team Lotus goes from 5th place on SNL debut, not just Formula X debut like Tamo, but on SNL debut. So a strong qualifying performance from the newbie. We'll see how he goes from here. The rookie looking to move forwards. Slender Fella, number 21 in the Williams, also qualified on softs, just like his teammate. He qualified in 6th position, so he will be looking to see if he can build on that strong foundation, a good qualifying for Slender Fella. 7th place, another new team. It's Cadillac. It's Rob on drums. And raise a hand if you are surprised to see Rob on drums driving a Cadillac. And I think we'll get about 0 hands raised. It's I don't think it's much of a surprise that Rob has gone for Cadillac. I think it's a great thing that he's gone for Cadillac, but I do not think it's at all a surprise. Number 42, the American driver in an American team. Cadillac, Rob on drums, from 7th on the grid. Also qualified on softs. 8th on the grid is our first hard compound qualifier. It is Ben in Toro Rosso for the second season in a row. Yeah, he was in Toro Rosso last season. And he's also lining up alongside his previous teammate in Formula X, Rob on drums. So Ben in Toro Rosso again, qualified on hards, number 2. Interesting to see that he's qualified in 8th on hards. We'll be seeing if he can move forwards in the race. 9th on the grid is Aloe in a Ferrari. Aloe qualified on hard compound tires as well, number 57. In 10th on the grid, we have Alpha Capri, a welcome return for Alpha Capri to SNL, number 9, sporting a Lando Norris helmet here. In Toro Rosso, number 99, on hard compound tires, qualifies 10th, but he is a proven podium finisher in Formula X. I would not be shocked to see him win a race this season. Keep an eye on him, despite his 10th position qualifying. In 11th, a welcome back to SNL for Jam, who did miss out on the GTE season, but is here for Formula X. The previous owner of SNL, the legend of SNL, Jam, number 7, will go from 11th on the grid for Team Lotus. Let's see how he can do. And 12th on the grid is another Formula X debutant. It is Wendigo, number 40 for Cadillac. Wendigo looks to go from last on the grid. He qualified on softs, unlike the 4 drivers ahead of him, Aloe, Alpha Capri, Jam, and Ben. He qualified on softs, but had an accident during his qualifying lap and chose not to complete the lap. Number 40, the Cadillac driver, will be going from last on the grid, number 12, or 12th position, I should say. Now, you'll notice there are 2 empty grid slots here. Those should belong to Kaiser and Punisher, who are driving for Audi and McLaren respectively. However, unfortunately, neither of them were able to make the race today due to last-minute circumstances. It's a shame they won't be able to drive to begin with, to begin the new season, but I'm sure we will see them soon. And, of course, 2 more empty grid slots, because we only have a 14-car grid. So, if you're interested in joining SNL, do not be afraid to reach out. Get in the Discord, put your name in. We are always looking for more drivers. Let's see what they can do. As Pat saying, Bunny's doing a Carlos Sainz from Ferrari to Williams, just missing out McLaren in the sequence, which is an interesting comment because Bunny's was actually at McLaren before Ferrari and before Williams. Bunny's has done a lot of jumping around in his time in SNL, which I suppose is going to happen when you've been here since Season 3. And Cadillac getting an American driver to race in a race before Haas, and that is actually a very good point. I had not considered that Haas had never had an American driver, and of course Cadillac already does with Rob on drums, the true American. So, 12 drivers on the grid today. Wendigo, Jam, Alpha Capri, Aloe, Ben, Rob on drums, Slenderfella, Super Toxic, Ajax, Bunnies, Tamo, and Gasman. We've got a host of previous SNL champions on the grid, 3 previous Formula X champions on the grid. All of those 12, Kaiser and Punisher, they can all race, but only one can be champion. We have one hell of a grid in front of us. The last thing to go through before we start this race is the tires brought to today's race. Bunnies is soft, soft, hard. Slenderfella is soft, soft, medium. Ajax, soft, medium, medium. Aloe, soft, medium, hard. Gasman, soft, soft, medium. Ben and Alpha Capri are both triple hards as Toro Rosso did not submit their tires in time. Jam is soft, hard, hard. Super Toxic, soft, medium, hard. Rob, Wendigo, and Tamo are all triple softs. That is your tires for today. I'll keep that up. Don't worry. I'll keep that up just in case we need to be referring to the tires again. And Pat questioning if Haas has ever had a Formula X team, and I don't believe they have, to be honest. We have 12 drivers on this grid. We have 7 teams represented on this grid, and we have one of the strongest Formula X grids SNL has ever seen. Let's get this racing underway. We have a whole season ahead of us. Let's delay it no longer. We have been here far too long, just listening to me talk, not watching car racing. Let's watch the car racing now. Trial Mountain, 3, 4, 5 red lights. It's lights out, and we are racing at Trial Mountain. It's a good getaway for Tamo. It's an okay getaway from Gasman, but it's a really good getaway from Bunnies, who's already up into second. Can he get into first before turn 1? He can. Bunnies leads the way ahead of Gasman, ahead of Ajax, who also jumps Tamo. Tamo not having as good of a start as I thought. Super Toxic maintains 5th, Slenderfella 6th, Ben on the outside 4th, 7th position, Super Toxic a bit wide. Ooh, a big moment there from Ben. It is Slenderfella, Rob on drums, Wendigo already up to 9th, Alpha Capri in 10th, Jam in 11th, and Aloe dropping down to 12th on mediums. He's got damage. It looks like he might have had an incident. Bunny's in the lead. It's Gasman chasing him down, though, the reigning champion being chased down by the Season 8 champion. Season 9 champion behind as well, as Ajax is under pressure from Tamo, who looks to his inside, thinks better of it, but Gasman's going to go to the inside for the lead of the race on lap 1. Gasman takes it back. Ajax is looking at an opportunity on his brother. Nothing doing yet, though. Number 1 looks to see if he can get a switchback on Gasman. Nothing doing there. Gasman leads the way, and we're going to dip right down this hill. It's a very steep decline here, as Ajax and Bunnies has jumped into first. Bunnies has made a move down the inside. The camera angle's not working for us there, but Bunnies down the inside of Gasman pulls off the move before the end of lap 1 into the final chicane now. Bunnies is going to lead us across the line, or out of the final corner at least, on lap 1. Gasman in second, Tamo third, Ajax back off the podium into fourth. We have a clear top 4 emerging as Super Toxic under pressure from Rob on drums. The American driver in the American team at the American track is looking strong in 6th position, looking to take 5th away from the new debutant, the Brit Super Toxic. Wendigo behind already. The Cadillacs are running nose to tail as Wendigo is already up into 7th position. He was rapid. He was about half a second away from clinching the GTE championship last time out when Bunnies just barely beat him to the win. They were teammates in Ferrari in GTE. Now Wendigo is looking to see if he can get redemption and get himself his first Formula X championship. I said it during GTE, I'll say it again now. He will be a champion sooner or later. There is nothing you can do to stop it. Wendigo is rapid, but Rob on drums is 5th. And it's going to be Wendigo down the inside of both of them to take 5th himself. Wow! From last on the grid, on lap 2, Wendigo is already up to 5th position. That is immense. Bunnies still leads the way, ahead of Gasman, Tamo, and Ajax. Wendigo in 5th, Rob on drums in 6th, Super Toxic in 7th, Ben is in 8th on his hard compound tires, managing them nicely so far. Slenderfella has dropped down to 9th, but he'll be looking to move further back up with those mediums. Alpha Capri, stuck on hards as well, is in 10th. 11th is Jam on hards. 12th is Aloe, who is looking to regain some time in that Ferrari. The 2004 Ferrari was one of the most dominant F1 cars we've seen in one of the most dominant seasons we've seen. Surely that can only be a good omen for Ajax and Aloe. Speaking of 2004, Bunnies and Slenderfella are running a 2004 Williams livery because Bunnies and Ajax have the same age gap as Michael Schumacher and Ralf Schumacher. So they've decided to run in Michael Schumacher and Ralf Schumacher cars respectively. Of course, Bunnies in a Ralf Schumacher Williams and Ajax in a Michael Schumacher Ferrari. And, of course, from the same year, 2004 for both. So, Tamo in 3rd is in the slipstream of Gasman. He's looking to see if he can move up back into the top 2. He started in 2nd, He dropped down to third off the start. He dropped down to fourth momentarily off the start, in fact, but he's back up into third and challenging for second. He looks to the inside. He's going to have to, it's going to be a tricky move through this section of Trial Mountain. This is a very difficult part of the track to go side-by-side through, but Gasman lost the lead through this corner. Can he lose second through here as well? Not quite. He does defend it very effectively there, does Gasman. Gasman, a proven champion in Formula X, a proven race winner as well. He is rapid. Camo in third, Ajax in fourth, and Wendigo is well and truly on the back of this group. Let's go on board with the Cadillac driver, looking to push up towards Ajax, as actually Tamo is now ahead of Gasman down the main straight. We'll go on board with Gasman, that Scottish flag helmet, following behind Tamo. He's going to look to see if he can get a move back up into second on the inside of turn 4. Nothing doing there. He's going to have to keep looking for it, but Tamo looks to be pulling away a little bit. Oh, as Tamo's into the wall, actually. Tamo, can he take that position? Can he survive in second position? Gasman right on the back of him, just as Wendigo is right on the back of Ajax. The Cadillac is looking to make a move on the Ferrari driver. Wendigo, from last on the grid, is in the leading group. In the slipstream, he's going to move to the inside. Can he pull off a move? Ajax moves to the inside of Gasman. Ajax is going to go for third here. Can he pull it off? Down the inside, Gasman goes way out wide. Gasman drops 2 positions there, as Wendigo pulls off the move to fourth, and Ajax goes up into third. The Ferrari driver looking strong on the podium now. It is a 3-way fight here. It's Ferrari, Cadillac, McLaren, 2 of the most historic F1 teams to ever grace the sport, and the new team. To the inside for Wendigo, thinks better of it. He's going to sit behind for now. It's around the outside for Gasman. What a move! He's got the inside line now, and he's through into fourth. Gasman, what a move! That was beautiful. Around the outside of the left-hander, into the inside line for the right-hander. But can he hold the position down towards turn 1? Wendigo is thinking about it. Wendigo wants to go to the inside. Wendigo on the inside. Can he pull off the move? He does. The Lithuanian, through the opening complex of corners, returns to fourth position ahead of Gasman. The Scotsman's going to be looking for an opportunity now. Gasman, he's involved in so many battles so early on in this race. He's fought just about every driver ahead of him now in the opening 5 laps. That's about a driver a lap. But he's down to 5th, which is not quite the position he'll want to be in. Rob on Drums, frankly, isn't too far off the back of this battle. He is putting in some good pace here. Rob on Drums, he's not under too much pressure from Super Toxic. He can't afford any big mistakes or he will get caught up by Super Toxic, but he should be okay for now. Slenderfella in 8th, Alpha Capri in 9th, Ben in 10th, 11th is Aloe, and Jam unfortunately has dropped down to 12th. He's got some damage on his front right corner of the car. Bunnies still leads the way on lap 5. The Williams driver back out in front, where he's used to in Formula X. He's won a lot of FX races, and he's looking like he's going to try and continue that trend. Tamo, though, doesn't want to let that happen. It's Ajax under pressure from Wendigo, though. That is the big thing going on right now. Wendigo, number 40, down the inside of number 12, and the Cadillac driver gains another position. It's last to the podium in 5 laps, and with only 2 cars ahead of him, and 25 laps to go. It's anyone's guess how far up the grid he will get, but Ajax is back into third now. Down the inside of turn 1, the Ferrari driver reclaims the position. It seems like maybe that final chicane is not the place to make moves, because down into turn 1, it seems very possible to make it back. Ajax on the outside. Can he hold the position over Wendigo? He's going to have to slot in behind for now. Wendigo not able to pull off the move yet. And Gasman right behind this duo. He's making it a trio. Number 89 wants to get involved in this. Oh, as there's been a mistake for Ajax, I think, as Wendigo pulls out to the inside, and he's now into third position. He'll try to pull ahead down the straight fully. Can he do it yet? Down the inside, he is through into third. Ajax drops back down to fourth. Gasman now is going to look to put pressure on him, but he's a little bit further back than he'd want. I think Gasman's struggling to keep up with the pace of those ahead of him. Just a little bit. I think probably struggling to get into the groove of the circuit, but I can't imagine we'll see him struggling for long. Rob on drums in 6th is running very nicely, and in fact, I believe he is gaining on the trio ahead of him. Their battling is enabling Rob on drums to get into this fight soon enough. He's not quite there yet. A mistake from any of those three would put them right on the nose of Rob on drums, but Rob not quite involved in this fight yet. Slenderfella in 7th. 8th is Ben, under pressure from his teammate Alpha Capri and Super Toxic right behind the duo of them. I think he's dropped a couple positions on this lap then. Aloe is closing in on the back of this trio. Gonna make it 4 of them pretty soon. Ben ahead of Alpha Capri. Then it's Super Toxic. Super Toxic on the inside. Nothing there yet. Ben and Alpha Capri both running green helmets. Super Toxic running a white and black helmet though. Super Toxic not able to make the move yet. And then it's Aloe's iconic pink helmet through around the outside on Super Toxic. That's a sweet move for the Ferrari driver. Super Toxic and Jam are last and second last. It's not going well for Team Lotus here. The team that it is going well for, though, is Williams in 1st and 7th. Audi, if only Kaiser were able to make this race, because Kaiser, he is a rapid driver and he does very impressive stuff when it comes to racecraft, and especially at the starts. He is really good at navigating the field, but Tamo, a 1:31.1 last lap compared to a 1:31.9 from Bunnies. These two both set their fastest laps of the race so far on the previous lap, but Tamo closed in by 0.8 of a second. Bunnies, a 1:31.8. It's a 1:31.5 for Tamo, who is still gaining on the Canadian. He's looking for the lead of the race. In his first ever Formula X race, he is not going to give this up. It wasn't a great start for him, but he is right with the leader now, and he's looking for a move. The Audi driver, Audi's first ever race in Formula X. Could it be a victorious beginning to Formula X? I think this is one of the strongest grids we've ever seen in Formula X. We've got people like Bunnies and Tamo, Wendigo, Ajax, and Gasman. Those seem like the 5 favorites going into this season. 3 of them are previous champions of SNL, and specifically of Formula X. Meanwhile, Wendigo and Tamo jumped into SNL for the previous GTE season and immediately impressed, with wins along the way and numerous podiums for both of them. They are both absolutely rapid, and they're proving it again in Formula X as well. We have one hell of a grid here. Rob on drums have been up into 5th ahead of Gasman, and Rob on drums is an absolutely rapid driver as well. But where Rob is the most dangerous is on strategy. He is a strategic mastermind. I genuinely believe he is the best strategist in SNL. And already up into 5th without even having to use the strategy yet, because there's been no pit stops so far in this race. Rob on drums is looking strong in 5th. And as I say that, we get our first pit stop of the race. Slenderfella off of his mediums on lap 8. That'll allow Ben through on him, and Aloe, as well as Super Toxic, who just about holds on to the rear end of that car. It was getting nervous on him, but he caught it. Alpha Capri in 10th now, and Jam, facing the wrong way. There's been an incident for Jam. Jam having difficulties with his force feedback, I've been told. So Jam, it's looking like it's a tough race for him so far. For the lead, Alpha Capri, Bunnies, and Tamo are side by side. Tamo on the inside. He's going to pull off the move, unless Bunnies can do all the way around the outside to hold position. He just might. Oh, Bunnies, just about. He gets back through on the outside. Oh, but that is not a good line. It is tricky to go side by side there. And Bunnies and Tamo are still side by side. Tamo on the inside now. This will be a better line for him. But can Bunnies swoop around the outside to hold first position? Can he do it? Bunnies looking to open up the season with a win for the 3rd season in a row. Can he pull it off? Or can Tamo get a debut win? It's looking like on lap 9, Bunnies is going to hold on to the lead. But it's hard to say if that will stand. It looks like Tamo has the better pace right now. But can Bunnies battle his way ahead of Tamo. Battle his way to stay ahead of Tamo even. Tamo is putting pressure on him. He wants this position, the Audi driver does. But the Williams driver, you can see the stars on his helmet. Each one represents an SNL championship. He's got 4 red stars for Formula X, a purple star for Endurance, and a new green star following his new GTE championship. Bunnies sits in first position, got 6 SNL championships compared to 1 SNL win, but Tamo's been here for a lot less time, and Tamo is proving his pace already. On lap 10, he's gonna swoop on to the inside, and Bunnies, nothing he can do this time. It's Tamo through into the lead. The Audi driver is going to be trying to pull away. Bunnies doesn't give these kinds of things up easily. Tamo's done more damage to his front right than Bunnies has. Bunnies is going to look for an opportunity. He's going to look to see if he can get back through on Tamo, but Tamo is going to be looking to stretch his legs. Wendigo into the pit lane. So pit off of soft compound tires. Ajax, comparatively, will continue on his mediums. Rob on drums in 5th continues on, as well as Gasman on softs, then on hards, mediums for Aloe up into 8th position. It was a tricky start for him. We didn't see what, but something happened to him. In the opening complex of corners, he did have damage. Super Toxic down in 9th. Oh, just about holds the car after getting on the grass under braking. Alpha Capri into the pits off of hards. He will be putting hards on. He has triple hards for this round. Slenderfella on soft has taken a pit stop. We'll see where he comes out in comparison to Alpha Capri. Wendigo already on his way out of the pit lane. There we go. Heads towards turn 1 in 9th position. Alpha Capri changing his tires. He'll be refueling now. Slenderfella on softs. And Jam on hards. Jam having a tricky time here. Those hards looking difficult to manage. Tamo on the inside, but Bunnies is going to swoop around the outside. Bunnies has got the move. Bunnies is back up into the lead. What a move on the outside. After the back straight. What a move. And Bunnies takes the lead, but they are both low on fuel, these top 2. And they should be into the pits soon. And this is a bit of an unusual picture when you look at the tires. Usually Bunnies, compared to his rivals, has more tire wear. This time it's Tamo. And they're both into the pits off of softs, as is Ajax, but he's off of mediums. Rob on drums will continue. He will lead the race for Cadillac. Gasman looking to put pressure on him on the soft compound tires for McLaren. So the new team is going to lead the way in their home race. Cadillac, Rob on drums, Trial Mountain, what a combo. It may be on strategy for now. He'll have to pit very, very soon, but Rob on drums leads the way. And that is a sight to see in SNL. We love to see it when Rob is having a good race. Some will say when Rob has a good race, SNL has a good race. Gasman in 2nd. Looking to pressure Rob. Bunnies comes out of the pits in the lead, but on hard compound tires. Comparatively, Super Toxic on mediums behind him. Low fuel has not pitted yet. Super Toxic still needs to pit. And Super Toxic, oh no, he's lost the rear end. Into the wall is Super Toxic on debut. He's hit the wall. Number 66 is going to try and get the car turned around, but it's a bit of a tight section here. He does get it turned around, but it'll drop down to 7th. He's got damage now. Ajax is through on him as well. Super Toxic on the inside. Nothing he can do there. He's going to lose another position from it then. So Super Toxic was right behind Bunnies, who's in 3rd currently. Now he's right behind Ajax, who is in 7th. That means the driver behind Bunnies is now Aloe in the Ferrari. Teammates with Bunny's brother, so Bunnies will be looking behind. Thankful that Aloe has not pitted yet. I think Bunnies would be worried about Aloe on mediums while he is on hards. Aloe's a rapid driver. As Rob on drums into the pit lane, out of the lead. Gasman will usurp the lead himself now on soft compound tires. He is fuel saving to be going 13 laps on these tires. We saw Wendigo only going 10. Bunnies and Tamo going 11. Rob on drums going 12. Gasman's going to go 13. So on hards, bunnies, Wendigo is through on Tamo now. Wendigo is refueled, has a lot less fuel left than Tamo. But the both of them will continue on their way now. In third and fourth, and Wendigo, from last on the grid, jumps up to third and net second position. Wendigo's going to look to get a move on bunnies soon enough, because those hards, I cannot imagine, are working very well for him, in comparison to the soft compound tires of Wendigo and Tamo. These two are rapid, and they've got the best tires to bring them to the front. Ajax on mediums behind. He'll be looking to see if he can close in a little bit. And Jam saying his hands and arms were very tired today, and understandably so. The force feedback issues that he had, his wheel trying to rip him in two, basically. But doing his best, fighting valiantly as we have movement up front. Tamo ahead of Wendigo, Wendigo ahead of Bunnies. Bunnies drops 2 positions down the long straight. Bunnies is going to drop down to 4th. That'll be a net 3rd when Gasman comes into the pits, which he does now, which means Tamo will be looking to usurp the lead as Wendigo loses his chance to take the lead of the race. Wendigo on those softs maybe just doesn't quite have the pace of Tamo, or maybe he is fuel saving. Either way, Bunnies, though, is behind the two of them now, and that is not what he wants on those hard compound tires. I can't imagine he'll be going that far on the hards, but he does not want Tamo and Wendigo stretching their legs too much. As Gasman down to 4th. In the pits, he's refueling now. Ajax in 5th, make that 4th. Rob on drums, 5th. Oh, but Gasman comes back out of the pits now. Where is he going to be in comparison to these two? Ajax now behind Gasman. Gasman comes out in 4th. That is sweet from him. He's jumped the both of them. Oh, Gasman is not refilled to full, though. That's probably maybe 60-65%. I didn't actually see the number that he refueled to. But Ajax already through into 4th. It's mediums for Gasman, so really just the hard tire, or the cold tires costing him there. Softs for Rob on drums. He's going to try and make a move through on Gasman. I believe Rob is triple softs for this round. That is correct. He is triple softs. So it will not be an easy move for him. Or, sorry, it will be an easy move for him as he gets through on Gasman. Gasman down to 6th. The McLaren driver. McLaren having a tricky round. Although it was pole for Gasman, he's now dropped down to 6th position, and of course Punisher unfortunately unable to race. Punisher and Gasman, a brilliant duo, reunited. Last time at Ferrari, this time at McLaren. And of course Punisher I feel has a bizarre tendency to jump back to teammates he's already had in Formula X. Punisher has been with Bunnies more than once, he's been with Gasman more than once. That's 4 of his now 6 seasons, at least, with the same teammates. Trying to think of who he would have had in Season 6. In Season 6, he would have been teammates with Digital Blasphemy, who I believe that was his final Formula X season, so in whichever season I'm forgetting about, Punisher would not have been with a repeat teammate, unless he was with Gasman 3 times, which would be, frankly, quite impressive. Given it is a random draw to figure out teammates, and has been for a while now, since Season 6. Tamo, in 1st. Wendigo, putting the pressure on him. The Cadillac and Audi drivers out front. These are the 2 new teams of Formula 1, duking it out in Formula X. Neither, of course, has raced in Formula X before. Both have raced in other series of SNL. Both were in Endurance. And Audi, I don't know if Audi has ever actually had a GTE team. I actually don't think we've ever seen the Audi run in GTE, which is shocking because I've heard it suggested numerous times in GTE, but I don't think I've ever seen it run in GTE. Either way, though, Audi making its Formula X debut and running very, very well right now. Cadillac doesn't have a GT3 car in the game, I don't believe, so that'll be why they've never raced in GTE, but they did race in Formula X. Oh, I've hit a button. My apologies. Tamo leads the way ahead of Wendigo. Bunnies in third is dropping further behind by the lap. It was a 32.3 and a 32.0 last lap from Tamo and Wendigo, respectively. A 33.6 from Bunnies. He is losing, and he is losing fast. Or slow. He's going slow and losing fast. Bit of oxymoron. Tamo ahead of Wendigo, though. They're going to fight for the lead here. Wendigo on the inside. He wants the lead of the race. The Lithuanian on the Lithuanian battle. Unfortunately, the other Lithuanians we saw in GTE, Edgar and Sutkus and Marijus Tam, three of them unable to race in Formula X this season. But Wendigo takes the lead. The Lithuanians who have chosen to return to Formula X or have been able to return to Formula X, or return to SNL for the first time in Formula X, lead the way. They're representing Lithuania quite well. Frankly, as far as I'm concerned, the two fastest countries in the world are Lithuania and Mauritius, based on Mauritius, based on the SNL drivers that have come out of those two countries. Ajax ahead of Rob on drums, but possibly not for long. Rob wants this move. Rob wants fourth position. He's going to take a look at what he can do. We go on board with him. He's going to move to the inside. A little bit of lag there for Ajax, it looks like. And Rob on drums on the inside. Can he pull off the move? Swoops down the inside, and he's got the position on Ajax. Rob on drums up into fourth position, chasing down his fellow North American. He is the American meat in a Canadian bread sandwich, which changes momentarily as the meat falls out the bottom of the sandwich. But Rob on drums, ooh, he's on the outside. Can't hold the position over Ajax. Ajax is rapid. And Rob on drums now is going to have to defend from Gasman, two of the longest serving, I believe these two, Rob and Gasman, both here in SNL from day one. But Rob on drums back to the inside of Ajax. He really wants this fourth position. The Cadillac driver is loving his home race. And he swoops down the inside. He's got the position. He's up into fourth. Wow. Rob on drums is performing very, very well. Number 42, teammate with number 40 this season. I wonder if those are the closest numbers between teammates this season. Number 53, Tamo, sits ahead of Wendigo. Wendigo moves to the inside. Can Wendigo pull off a move into turn one? Tamo was back through into the lead, but now it's Wendigo once again leading the race. Can Tamo on the outside? He cannot defend the position, not quite. It is Wendigo from Tamo. Bunnies, let's see the overtake though. Wendigo's not used any overtake. Tamo's got about just under half left. Bunnies has a fair bit left. Rob on drums in fourth. Ooh, as there's battling between these two, there's contact. Ajax and Gasman, they spin around. They're into the wall at turn three. What has happened here? The Ferrari and the McLaren go into the barriers together. On board with Gasman, what has happened here? We've got Ajax to our inside. Ooh. Onto the grass for a moment from Gasman after that contact creates second contact, and both of them into the wall. Ajax spinning around quite a bit. Warning, this might make you a little bit dizzy with the amount of times Ajax goes around in a short space of time. On the inside is Ajax through turn one. Bit of contact, more contacts, hits the barrier, spins round. Oh, he actually only goes round twice. It looked like more than that to me at first, but Ajax, still a large incident between him and Gasman. Slender fella is going to be the main beneficiary here as he goes into fifth position. The Williams driver climbs up two. Ajax sixth, Gasman seventh, Aloe eighth. So the Ferrari's not too far apart now. As asking in the chat, Autovan Banan, that I don't know how to say your name. I apologize. Which game is this? This is Gran Turismo 7, the latest Gran Turismo game. And it is brilliant. It is one of my favorite racing games of all. One of my favorite games of all time, and probably my favorite racing game of all time. Certainly an argument to be made that it's the greatest racing game of all time. Whoa, that was very wide from Tamo, who makes a bit of a mistake there on the dying soft compound tires. And he's going to drop a little bit further behind Wendigo. As Gasman joins just in time to watch himself suffer, joining just in time to see the contact between him and Ajax. So that is, not the most pleasant moment to join in for Gasman, but he can see what can happen. Can he make perhaps a move on Ajax, sort of fix the pain as he, hopefully for him, gets back through? He's a bit too far back right now, but the McLaren driver is looking to pressure Ajax. Aloe and Alpha Capri both into the pits off hard compound tires. So Aloe soft, medium, hard for this round, Alpha Capri triple hards. Super Toxic and Jam both still running in the race as Jam is letting cars through. Does well not to impede the drivers a lap ahead. Super Toxic not too far ahead of the other, not too far ahead of his teammate, and the drivers looking to lap him next. Wendigo looks much more comfortable ahead of Tamo now due to that mistake from Tamo at the chicane on the previous lap, and Wendigo is properly using his overtake now. He's able to stretch his legs, he's really wanting to use this clean air, but he is gaining on Super Toxic a lap ahead. Super Toxic will have to obey the blue flags when they pop up, and into the pits comes Bunnies. So this should be his final stop. He is one of the three sort of in this lead battle, but he's dropped far enough off that I would argue that really it's just Tamo and Wendigo now. Bunnies, though, never count him out. I would say the same about Ajax and Gasman. They're a little bit further back, but never count them out. They can always pull off something exceptional. But with the quality of Tamo and Wendigo, it's hard to think that Ajax and Gasman could pull off that much of a jump. I mean, going on to the long back straight now are Wendigo and Tamo, Ajax and Gasman through turns 2 and 3. So I think, as much as I just said you can never count them out, I think at this stage in the race you can more or less count Ajax and Gasman out for the win. But even for a podium, I wouldn't count them out just yet. They are not out of it fully. Rob on drums sits in third, continuing his brilliant form this round. The Cadillac driver only has an Audi separating him and his teammate, and a fair bit of track in fairness. These two are really stretching their legs out in front. Super Toxic does well to get out of the way there. Tamo into the pit lane, so is Wendigo. These two drivers both off of soft compound tires, but Tamo has a lot more fuel left, and they will be putting another set of softs on. Rob on drums on softs, he's also triple softs. Will he be into the pits this lap? No, he'll continue on. Ajax, I think based on his fuel, will continue on. Well, Gasman might struggle to make another lap, but I could see him going for one more. He does indeed, so these two will go one more lap at least. Then on the hards, Slenderfella, oh, Bunnies I've jumped over by accident. Bunnies is on soft compound tires. Where will Tamo and Wendigo come out in comparison to him? Rob on drums takes the lead of the race. Ajax second, but here come Wendigo and Tamo. Ajax is ahead of both of them. Wendigo and Tamo come out of the pits inside each other effectively. And Tamo takes the net lead of the race ahead of Wendigo, so that is a strategic bit of brilliance from him. I wonder if he was fuel saving throughout that stint, just to make sure he could get the jump on Wendigo in the pits. Gasman directly behind these two. So Tamo quite low on overtake. Wendigo's done a lot more overtake saving so far. Sitting in fourth on the road, but a net second position. And these two are going to duke it out for the win for the final 10 laps of the race. To the inside goes Wendigo, who you have to admit has the advantage with the amount of overtake that he has left. Tamo is going to have to drop down to fourth for now. Nothing he can do to defend from Wendigo for now, but he may just want to sit behind. Maybe he wants to sit behind, be able to manage his overtake better, be able to really save his tires and take care of them until the final few laps. Rob on drums into the pits. Off of softs, it'll be another set of softs after that. Ajax will continue another lap. Wendigo continues, of course, so does Tamo. They have completed their final pit stops. Gasman into the pits for his final pit stop off a set of mediums. Bunnies will usurp 4th position in a moment. Ben in 7th. Ben will need to pit soon enough, but not quite yet. On those hard compound tires, he'll have another set of hards again. And while that may prove very difficult for him and Alpha Capri throughout this round, the two of them will take a large advantage throughout the rest of the season, having gotten rid of more than half of their hard compound tires for the season. They are going to be looking very soft next round. They've gone very hard for this round, and they'll be going much softer next time out. Super Toxic on the hards right now. What tires did Super Toxic bring? Super Toxic brought soft, medium, hards, which is a pretty solid set of tires to bring, I'd say. Soft, medium, hard, sort of a safe bet at any given round, I would say. Yo, Super Toxic into the wall. Much as it's the safe bet, that doesn't make hards safe to drive on. They can be very, very tricky, as Super Toxic showing there. Struggling to get going again, and Jam is struggling a lot on those hards himself. He's only on lap 21. It's lap 22. The end of lap 22 for Ajax, who's about to dive into the pits. He's got Tamo and Wendigo directly behind him. And I figure now is a good time to talk about the thing that I talk about every time Formula X comes around, which is, of course, the lights above the drivers' heads. You'll see a green light above the head of Wendigo. We'll just look backwards for a moment here at Wendigo. With the green light above his head, that means that he has 25% or more left of his overtake. Overtake much like push to pass. If you watch Super Formula or IndyCar, push to pass just gives you a bit of extra power to use as you go ahead and try to make an overtake or try to set some good laps so you can stay ahead strategically. It has a number of uses, but the overtake functions exactly like push to pass. Press a button and you get a bit of extra power. So the light above Wendigo's head is green because he has 25% or more of his overtake left. Tamo's is red because he's got 25% or less of his overtake left. So Tamo has got a lot less than Wendigo. And what you'll notice eventually, I don't know that there's any drivers in this position quite yet, as we'll flick through the grid quickly to check. But what you will notice is that eventually the light will go out. No driver has done this yet, but eventually the light will just disappear. There will be no light above the driver's head. What that means is that they have no overtake left. So, this is really beneficial for us to know as viewers, because it gives us more context for how the drivers are doing in the race. And in a battle like the one between Tamo and Wendigo, it gives us more of an understanding of how this could play out. Wendigo has Wendigo actually, a bit of a mistake for Tamo, and Wendigo is going to be on the outside looking for a move, nothing doing yet. He's going to have to sit behind a little bit longer, but we have context for the fact that Wendigo has a bit more overtake left than Tamo, because Tamo is in the red, Wendigo is in the green, and that means this battle is looking in favor of Wendigo. Comparatively, it's also really useful for the drivers, who, Tamo will be sitting there looking at his own overtake going, okay, I've only got a little bit of overtake left, and they'll look in his mirrors and see Wendigo with a green light above his head, and know that he is going to have to figure out how to defend without overtake, because Wendigo simply has that much pace advantage over him now, because of the overtake that is available to him. So it's really useful when you're in a close battle with someone else as well. Bunnies is running here in third, 31-2 and a 32-0 in his past 2 laps. It's been 31-7 and 33-4 for Tamo, 32-2 and 33-0 for Wendigo. So Bunnies is gaining on these two by over a second last lap, and by about half a second over Tamo the previous lap. We'll see what the lap times are this time out. Bunnies is not 100% out of this. It's going to be a tricky one for him to get involved in this fight for the win, but there he is in the background. He's not fully out of this. 32-6 last lap, 32-8 last lap. Comparatively, what'll it be for Bunnies 31.9, so he will gain about 9/10 of a second on Wendigo and about 7/10 of a second on Tamo. As you can see, I am not brilliant at quick math, so apologies if those numbers are wrong, but I think I've got it right. Tamo, though, ahead of Wendigo, and it has to be said, as much as Wendigo has more overtake and therefore sort of has something of an advantage, I would want, in these two's position, I would want track position. I think both of these drivers have an advantage in this race, and I will also just point out how nice the red light looks on the Audi. It looks very fitting having a red light over that car, the back half of that car, lots of red on it. But Tamo, with the red light above his head, is looking strong here on lap 25. 5 laps to go at the end of this one. I wonder if any drivers have spotted the Loch Ness Monster yet. We'll talk about that in a second. Wait for Ajax to get to the right part of the track to mention it. Actually, speaking of which, it's a bit of a three-way battle here between Gasman, Rob, and Ajax. We'll go on board with Ajax for a second. As we round this right-hander, you can see the water off in the distance there, and I don't know how often exactly, but something like every 5 minutes or something, the Loch Ness Monster peers its head out of the water there. So drivers do have an opportunity to see Nessie, as it's been named. Peeking its head out of the water, watching some car racing. That's one of many brilliant little Easter eggs in Gran Turismo 7, and even on this track alone, as I believe, I'm not actually sure where, but I believe there's a couple monkeys watching the watching the racing here. Possibly the orangutans. I don't know if orangutans are considered monkeys. That's a question for Google later. As Wendigo goes to the inside, and that is exactly what he wants. Now he's got more overtake and the lead. Wendigo is looking strong now. You want track position, you want more overtake. Now Wendigo has every advantage in this battle, and Tamo is going to be on the back foot, looking to get back through and into the lead. Can number 53 come out on top of number 40? We've seen him beat Wendigo before in GTE. The Nordschleife, round 3, he won that race by about a second and a half ahead of Wendigo and Bunnies. This is a top 3 we got used to throughout the previous GTE season, and it's one that we might have to get used to again in Formula X, as Pool Shark is in the chat. Good to see you, Pool Shark. Saying it feels weird not to see Ajax and Bunnies battling for 1-2, and it is a bit of a switch-up. And for any fans of those two, it's a bit of a sad switch-up, but I think for the sake of SNL, it's good to see some other drivers getting some battling out front. Those two have been the previous 3 Formula X champions, and the only driver who would frequently challenge them across those 3 seasons was Gasman, the champion of the season before that. Ammo saying he didn't know about the lights, so good to always be able to give more context to both viewers and drivers. It's a fun little bit of these Formula X cars. It's a small detail, but it's something I really like about them, is that they try to give that extra context to the viewer, and to the driver, frankly. And Rob had a wipeout on lap 24 that we have missed, but Rob thankful of that fact. So don't worry, we won't go back and find it. Rob, as far as we're concerned, Rob's had a flawless race, no spins. Just don't look at lap 24. So Rob, though, speaking of which, in the slipstream of Gasman, who's in the slipstream of Ajax, we got a 3-way fight here for 4th. Bunny's looking a little bit lonely, and of course Tamo still hoping to somehow get the position over Wendigo, who leads the race, and will be very happy with that fact. He looks comfortable. He's still not using much of his overtake. Tamo's trying to save his own as well. Into the slipstream. Tamo's gonna sit here. He's not going to make the overtake yet. He doesn't want to bump draft. Bump drafting is not allowed. Tamo doing a very good job of getting very close to the back of his opponent driver and not bump drafting them. It's a skill easier said than done, although I struggled to say it, so maybe it's not. Maybe it's easier done than said, but who knows. Tamo, though, Good to see him not bump drafting, but still managing to stick really close in that slipstream. It's a good strategy, and it'll help you save fuel as well. So Tamo, I'd say a very smart driver. I think that's be something we've seen since he joined SNL, that Tamo, he's got absolute pace, don't get me wrong. He's very, very rapid. But where he really, really comes into his own, I think, is his intelligence as a driver. Tamo is... he's calculating. I've seen him pull off some impressive moves that he's clearly set up well and known he could set up. So I thought I saw movement for position just now, but possibly not. Does seem like the back end of the grid has been split up a bit and jam into the pits. I think possibly just choosing to sit there. He's not refueling, he's not having his tires changed. I think this is Jam effectively retiring from the race. So an unfortunate fate there for him, as Rob on drums pulls off a move on Gasman. Let's go back and watch this. Rob on drums into the slipstream, pulls to the inside, on the McLaren driver. This is a previous champion of SNL as Gasman, and Rob on drums goes down the inside. What a move! Rob on drums is rapid, and he is through on Gasman. Ajax is the next target. Can Rob on drums? He got his first ever Formula X podium last season at Tokyo Expressway. Could he pull off a 4th position here today? Ajax is not far ahead. He's got a bit less wear on his softs though, so he might be in a slightly better position than Rob. We'll see though. Rob's pace seems really good, and it looks like Gasman's tires are betraying him now. Lap 29. Tamo is just barely ahead of Wendigo. Wait, Tamo's gone back through on Wendigo. I missed that then. I don't know how recently that happened, but Tamo is through on Wendigo. Wendigo right behind. This is going to become a chaotic and vicious battle, I think, and it is going to be fantastic to watch. I can't wait, frankly. As Wendigo chooses to sit behind just that little bit longer, I'm impressed Wendigo hasn't used more of his overtake. I wonder if he's sort of forgotten about it in the heat of the moment. Tamo running in first now. Wendigo, he's looking to put pressure on him. The Cadillac driver wants to see what he can do. Tamo won the Radical event that we did in between the GTE and Formula X seasons. Tamo now leads the first Formula X race of the season. Could Tamo make it 2 in a row in SNL? First race in Formula X, it's for both of these drivers, and it looks like it's going... Oh no, Tamo's nearly spun! Tamo, what a save! That could be the save that keeps him in the lead. That is incredible. And Bunnies is in the background of this shot. He is too far back to make a move. He will not get the position. He will be in third come the end of this race, I think. But into the 130s with a 130.996. Wow. Tamo leads the way. He's just barely got a little bit of a gap to Wendigo. Wendigo needs the push. He's got so much more overtake left. He can use it down the back straight. Wendigo's not out of this. He goes purple through the first sector. So does Bunnies by 4/10. Bunnies is trying to gain on these guys, but it is too little, too late. Wendigo and Tamo, these are the guys fighting for the race win. Wendigo is going to have to move to the left to stay in the slipstream of Tamo. He's going to go to the outside. Can he pull off the move? It's the final lap of the race, and Wendigo, he's not able to make the move. Somehow, Tamo almost pulls away towards the end of that straight. Tamo on the inside. He's going to hold the position, number 53 ahead of number 40. Wendigo in the Cadillac, nothing he can do. There's 4 corners remaining. 3 after this one. Can he make the move? We saw a move here on lap 1 down the inside. Can he make it on the final lap? No. Wendigo, nothing yet. It's going to have to be the final chicane if Wendigo's going to make a move. Can he do it? These two are nose to tail. He goes to the inside. There's contact. The Lithuanians make contact as Tamo maintains the lead for the time being through the final corner. Who's it going to be? Neither of them hit the wall. They'll both have a good run. Wendigo's on the overtake. Wendigo's going to try and get it on Tamo, but it looks like Tamo's got it. Tamo wins the race in Trial Mountain. It's victory for the Lithuanian by 0.5 over Wendigo. Wendigo, nothing he can do to get Tamo in the end. Tamo was victorious. It's Bunnies in third on the podium. Ajax will come home in fourth. It's a Lithuanian, Canadian. As Ajax will come home in the position behind his brother. 4th place for the Ferrari driver. 5th will go to Rob on drums, the American in the American team. gets home in 5th in the American race. The Scotsman, Gasman, in 6th. 7th will go to Slenderfella. In Williams. 2 Williams in the top half of the grid. There we go. 8th for Aloe. After that moment on lap 1, that is a good recovery drive. Ben will come home in 9th. Triple hards. It was going to be a tough round, no matter what he did. He'll get 9th. 10th will be Alpha Capri. Super Toxic and Jam have already finished 11th and 12th. And the Team Lotus cars running close together there. After crossing the line, Alpha Capri, it looked like a bit of a lonely race. We didn't get too much opportunity to talk about him. But Alpha Capri has run out of fuel on the final lap. And he's now going to coast to the line in his Toro Rosso. It's been a tough one for him. It'll make it to the line. But eventually. Might be waiting a little bit longer. There it is. There's the checkered flag. Alpha Capri finishes in 10th. And that is everybody. Finished the race now. Let's see if we can get a better view of Tamo here. Our race winner. You know what? Photo mode. There we go. In flying formation there, the top 2, but it was Tamo victorious in his debut SNL race. What a drive from number 53, Audi in their first FX race, Tamo in his first FX race, and victorious for the Lithuanian. What a drive. What a win. Trial Mountain is his. Wendigo in 2nd place. Wendigo from last on the grid. What a drive from number 40, Wendigo. That was impressive. The Lithuanian won too. We've seen that only once previously in SNL, round 3. So every time there's been a 1-2 between these two, it's been Tamo who's led home the victory. Tamo has more wins in SNL than Wendigo, I should say. But Wendigo was 2nd in the GTE Championship and therefore walked into this championship as one of the favorites. Although I will say, so did Tamo. I would say we have 5 favorites for this season. Tamo takes victory. It was triple softs for both him and Wendigo, who will both take quite a hit to their tires after that. So the rest of the season could prove a little bit harder for these two, but I think these two can manage. If anyone can, it's these 2 Lithuanians. 3rd place goes to Bunnies. Number 1, the Canadian, the reigning champion in GTE, Endurance, and Formula X, does not take home victory in round 1 for the 3rd consecutive season. He did it at Interlagos in Season 10. He did it in Kyoto in Season 11. He will not do it at Trial Mountain in Season 12. But Bunnies will not give up. 3rd position is good for him. He will be happy with that, I think. Ajax in 4th. What a drive from Rob on drums to take 5th position. The American at his home race. Well done, Rob. Take a bow. Gasman in 6th. It was a strong showing from him throughout most of the race, but he couldn't quite put it together in the end. Gasman, one of the other favorites for the championship. I'd say that top 3, Ajax and Gasman, are the main favorites, but who knows? If Rob on drums can drive like that for the rest of the season, then it would only take a bad round from a few drivers to put him right towards the top of the podium. Gasman 6th, as I said, 7th for Slenderfella. It was a strong drive from him. I think Williams will come out of that race pretty pleased with how it all went down. I mean, Cadillac will be very pleased, though. They should lead the Constructors' Championship after that. Aloe in 8th, his first race for Ferrari, and a strong one at that. Aloe, number 57. 8th position, Ben and Alpha Capri, both triple hards. It was always going to be a really tricky race for these two, but they'll be in a much better position for the rest of the season. They just need to make sure they actually submit their tires next time. And Lotus. That was a tough round for Lotus. Super Toxic comes home 11th. It was a strong qualifying for the debut SNL driver. But the race didn't quite pan out for him. A couple of incidents. He'll be looking to do better next time out. And it's Jam in 12th. A tough one for him. saying in the chat that he was letting his hands and arms rest come the end of the race when he was sitting in the pits. The back straight was a bone shaker. And part of me wants to go back and watch him down that back straight and watch the wheel shake. Part of me is scared to do that. His force feedback proving to be problematic. Hopefully Jam can get that sorted out for round 2. Round 2, speaking of which, will be another fictional track. This time we will head to Italy, a home race for Ferrari. It will be Lago Maggiore East. Formula X has raced the reverse of the full layout before. Numerous times. It was the first ever track that SNL competed on, in fact. And Formula X as well. But this time it is just the east side, and it is the regular direction. Lago Maggiore East, 44 laps. Get ready. A reminder, your podium was Bunnies in third, Wendigo in second, and Tamo victorious. Thank you to everybody who watched. It has been a lot of fun. It was a long one for Formula X. With explaining the new rules and the new teams and everything like that. But we're back, and we're ready for a brilliant season. Thank you to everybody who watched. Thank you to everybody who raced. We'll see you next week. This has been SNL Formula X Season 12, Round 1. Trial Mountain. Tamo victorious. Who can stop him next round? We will see. Thank you, and goodbye.